There's something coming through about how you're feeling like forgotten about or feeling like left out in the cold by your team, by the universe, by the divine, by source, by God, whatever you choose to call it. And you're feeling like you've done all this work, you've put all this time in, you've released all these things that you were told to release, taught to like intuitively told to release. You've significantly let go of those things. You've made different decisions. You've made different changes. You've done all the things. I'm hearing you've done all the things. And you're feeling kind of frustrated or like they forgot about you or like things are just not going to turn around or turn up. And I'm being guided to say that your life can change in one night. You can wake up one person or go, sorry, you can go to bed one person and wake up another person. And I'm hearing like windfall. So, partially what they're saying to me is that, you know, there's a part of you that needs to consistently continue to show up and continue to be consistent and put the work in. And part of that is without the indicator that the 3D is going to change. Like there's this like how do I say this? There's this space where you have to put the effort in and the time in and consistently do the thing. And without the 3D changing at all to show that you are doing it for the right reasons, that you are truly following your heart, that this is heart led. And when you are fully relying on heart led movement and intuitive movement, you are more able to like make choices and do things that actually bring you joy and happiness and excitement. And so there is going to be this lapse of time where you're not going to see like the results of what you've been putting in for a bit of time. And the reasoning for that is because the reason that you follow through and do these things needs to be for yourself, for your own happiness, for your own fulfillment, not for anything external or result or outcome. And when you can consistently do something on a regular basis from that mentality, it not only like is enjoyable and fun, but it also like raises your frequency and the energy that you are aligned in. So, like when you are aligned in that energy, you're aligned with authenticity, you're aligned with purpose. Um, and when you're aligned in that space, that is like something that really helps to push you forward. So, I talk a lot about like how when you are choosing, like when you're trying to find your purpose and figure out what it is that you're supposed to bring to this world, create in this world, do for this world, right? Like what you're here for. I talk a lot about the idea that you need to figure something out that doesn't feel like work, that feels enjoyable, that you're able to receive fulfillment from by just doing it. If that's not the case, then that's not the thing. And what I'm hearing is that when you are tapped into that like authenticity, that thing that really brings you joy and happiness, it doesn't really matter what's happening externally because you're bringing so much joy to yourself just by doing it, which is what's raising your frequency and energy. And so I'm hearing that like when you're tapped into that, you're not needing to see the result in the 3D. You're not looking for it. You're not looking for the outcome. You're more so tapped into being present and the enjoyment of just fulfilling yourself in that present moment. And that is like the highest frequency is like this being present, this being in the moment. Um this being able to just like go with the flow and move through the day by being very present. You're not waiting for something. You're not, right? You're engaging and moving moment by moment by present moment. And I'm hearing that this is like what detaches you, so that things can come in. So when we are overly attached to outcomes or to certain results or have expectations of something being a certain way, we're actually like withholding that thing from ourselves. So we're pushing that away from us rather than actually bringing it towards us. And so this is why it's important to kind of get aligned with doing things that really bring you purpose and fulfillment and happiness and all of those things. Because when you're in that energy, you're in the present moment and you're actually not attached to the expectation, the result, the outcome. You're more so in the moment, enjoying being, right? I'm hearing like Ram Ram Dam, I think that's his name. His book, Be Here and Now, right? Like that's like the biggest spiritual secret is to learn how to be here and now in this exact present moment. What's going to bring me joy right now? What's going to bring me happiness right now? What's going to make me feel good right now, right? That's kind of like what that book kind of talks about is the idea of being here and now, and that there only is here and now. The past is gone and the future doesn't exist, right? So when you're holding on to this idea of like outcome or result or expectations, you're in the future, you're not in the present. And when you can fully be embodied in the present moment, that is when you are fully in enjoyment with what you're doing. So a lot of the times I'll talk to people and I'll say, what is it that you really like enjoyed doing as a kid, that past time like crazy, and like you would look at the clock and be like, oh my gosh, the time is so, that is the thing. And if you found that as an adult, then you found the thing. That's the thing that really lights your soul on fire. That's the thing that you are meant to do, right? That's the thing that's going to help you move forward into where you're wanting to go. Your team has not forgotten about you, but they're waiting for you to fully align to that thing, whatever that thing is for you. And I'm hearing that, like, once you're in alignment with that thing and you're detached from the outcome, the expectations, the result, the like needing to receive from this thing, but instead doing it because of enjoyment, like pure enjoyment and happiness and fulfillment, that is when everything is going to come in for you. So, going to bed one person and waking up another. I'm hearing it's all going to happen all at once. It's kind of going to be like a windfall kind of situation, but there's this lesson here about learning to like be in the moment, learning to enjoy the moment, learning to find happiness and joy in whatever it is that you're doing every moment of the day as much as possible, because this waiting energy is also, futuristic energy as well. So when you're waiting for something to come in, you're not in the energy of receiving, you're in the energy of pushing it away. So, like, I guess this is really like detachment stuff, to be honest with you. It's kind of like this idea that, like, if you are grasping so tightly to things, you're actually pushing those things away energetically. And so it's learning how to release your grasp, learning how to let go of control. And I think that this collective that I'm talking to today really struggles with the control piece. And I think a part of this comes from, a like a place of kind of like not having enough, or like growing up with not a lot. May that be money, whatever it is, like there's this feeling of lack of some sort, that when when I'm feeling this lack, if I know how things are going to happen, or I know how the story goes, or I know how the story ends, or I know what's coming next, then everything's going to be okay and I can give myself that safety or peace or relaxation. And that's attachment, right? That's attachment to that expectation, that thing, that result, that outcome. And it feels like this started in childhood. Like I just keep like seeing like child kind of ages. So like it feels like this idea has been implanted for a very, very long time for you. And it's something that you've really struggled with a lot of your life. And like there is some type of like safety that you find in like needing to know. And part of surrender is learning to let go of the need to know and just moving into trust. So much easier said than done. I'm not going to say that it's not. But this also breaks down into self trust. Like, how much do you trust yourself to be able to make ends meet or whatever it is that you need to do when the time is right? How much do you trust yourself to be able to create what you need to create so that you can move forward? I mean, it's a much deeper thing when you turn it back towards ourselves, right? So what is it within us that we actually need to um build or take care of or move through for us to be able to get into this energy of receiving? And it really like starts with like the self trust. Like, do you trust yourself enough to be able to figure it out? Do you believe in yourself enough to know that everything is going to be resolved? Nothing is impossible. I am possible, right? When you can entertain and get to that level of self trust, that's when the surrender really just starts to get a lot easier. When you're not really like focused on all those things anymore because you know that you're smart enough, you know that you're capable, you know that you'll figure it out because you always do, right? And so there's a level of really needing to learn how to trust yourself and at least talk to yourself in a more like way of being trusting of yourself. Because once you trust yourself, that's when you can fully release and give things to the divine source, God, whatever you want to call it. And if you lack that self-trust, then you're always going to be looking for um the signs that it's coming, or you're always going to be looking for the what's next or the next thing or the story, right? Rather than being in the present energy. So this kind of is coming back to that. So, you know, it's about learning to be present, be and then now, be here and now, and enjoy and have fun and find fulfillment and enjoyment and happiness and all of those things right here and now, and releasing the other pieces. So what I'm hearing is like, something that could be helpful is like when you notice that you're doing that, like reminding yourself to come back, right? Like you can't change this way of thinking or being without getting your mind under control. And I'm seeing like someone who is like kind of battling a little bit with that in some ways. So maybe it's about like when I am thinking about the futuristic expectation or outcome, I'm saying to myself, I know everything's going to be okay because I've done everything up until this point. I'm going to make ends meet. I don't need to worry about that right now. What can I do right now to self soothe? Okay, so that's like a part of what's coming up then, is like this idea that like I don't know how to be in stillness. I'm struggling to self-soothe and like find enjoyment in the here and now. So that's interesting. So when it comes down to like how to self-soothe, I mean that's really different for everybody and you kind of have to figure that out on your own in some ways, but a couple of things that could try to self-soothe is, when I was moving through my awakening, a lot of like dancing really helped and singing. Singing is like my thing. And so singing really pulled me out of any thought process I was in at any point in time and pulled me back into the present moment. Um, and dancing is another way to do that. I know people who do that way to kind of like move energy through their body or system. Um, Maybe even like writing to refocus might be helpful. walking outside or going outside for a walk and being very mindful. So noticing what you're hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, feeling, and maybe even moving through those senses a couple of times to kind of shift your focus might be really helpful. I meditate a lot, but that's something I've built up to at this point in time. So that may fit for you or not. Um, but it's about learning how to, like, not engage in those thought processes of future or past. So it's learning how to, like, refocus on the present, like bring your focus back, bring your focus back. And that's kind of like what the things I mentioned are, is like ways for you to bring your focus back, bring your focus back. Because the more that you do that, the more that you create a new neural pathway of choice. Right now, the neural pathway that is the most traveled or the most walked for this collective is the pathway of, like, trying to control or know what's next so that they can feel safe and comfortable in what's going to happen, right? Like, that's how they're providing safety for themselves instead of learning how to self soothe in the moment and just recognize that you're safe here right now. So, this is some like nervous system stuff, regulation stuff, and like kind of figuring out like how to refocus for yourself in some ways. Um, I do have a nervous system course if you do want to take a look in my link tree, that you can take it. It helps you do this kind of thing and helps you like get regulated so that you can move forward in a different way and also be able to like learn self-soothing skills and understand when to self-soothe and how to. And it comes up with a plan. It does it all with you. So you can take a look at that if you'd like. It's on my Inner Eclipse Collective site. Um, but this collective is really struggling to like come back to the present moment and remain in the present moment and really learning how to like sit in stillness and be in stillness and like feel okay and safe doing that. So this is a nervous system thing, but it's also learning how to bring it back, bring it back, bring it back in whatever way that is for you. The other thing I'm hearing too is like, someone here is like watching a lot of tarot card readings to like see their future or like to see what's coming next instead of like trusting. Like, that's not surrender, that's like being in the energy of attachment, right? That's not detachment. So maybe someone needs to take a break from those in a way and find other ways to pass your time, other ways to spend your time, other ways to enjoy your time, because that's actually not helpful. um Not when you're trying to move into this energy of receiving. When you're trying to move into the energy of receiving, this is something that needs to kind of like shift, is like the idea that there are answers outside of yourself. You have all of the answers that you need inside of you. There is nothing outside of you that you need. And to go into the receiving space, I guess we're talking about Empress energy, right? To be able to be in the stillness and the receiving space of this, you really have to be able to detach from those things and like stop needing those things to guide you and learn how to self-soothe and find safety within yourself in this exact moment right now. So I do see that your team is trying to guide you in different ways to do that. I think it's just uncomfortable. It just feels like this energy is just very uncomfortable for you in certain ways. And I mean, it's new, right? It's definitely a new way of being. It's a new way of moving forward. It's completely different than you've ever like kind of moved forward or functioned in your life. So of course it's uncomfortable. But there is a little bit of avoidance in the discomfort, like avoidance of being able to learn how to sit in the discomfort. And so, to really be able to move into this receiving, you really have to learn how to sit in discomfort. Learning how to like regulate discomfort and self soothe through discomfort is really what's going to push you forward to where you're wanting to go. Um, It's probably like the biggest thing though. It's really interesting because that's like one of the biggest things that most people are uncomfortable with, is like being uncomfortable. We're uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. But the reality is you don't grow where you're comfortable. You grow where you're uncomfortable. So, you know, if you are wanting to move into the receiving energy, if that is something that you want for yourself, if you are wanting to like create that for yourself, then this is a part of the process and a part of the work that needs to happen for you to fully move forward into that space and to fully integrate that in for you. Um I do offer coaching. I offer private readings if you'd like to learn about your own blocks or whatnot, spiritual guidance if you need some help in regards to your own gifts and things like that. But I do offer coaching that can help you kind of like figure out how to do this, get a plan in place for yourself, figure out what you need to do to take care of yourself so that you can self soothe, just kind of like what I do. Um, so, you can go ahead and look at my link tree if you'd like to take a look, but keep going, keep putting the effort in, keep trying. You're very close. It's just this one little hump, this one little last of a hump to surrender that you need to kind of like find a way to move through as comfortably as possibly and learn comfort through it. So, I hope that was helpful. And like I said, take a look at my link tree if you'd like to work with me privately. Love and light.